I value your time, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. In our war against the Clownbodian general, Warlord Khmer, we took considerable losses fighting that battle. The Senate has moved us back to the land of Israel, where we will examine the 5 jars. In the heat of battle, I say naughty things. You have been warned. Are you not entertained? After the long, prolonged war with Warlord Khmer, we have been reassigned to the land of milk and honey from the wise Senate. As we enter into our new duty station, the Legion has to take on new tactics to survive after a year-long war in the high-dividend community. We are switching our main investment strategy to align more with the way that the Jewish children are taught. They are taught from an early age about the importance of the 5 jars. The biggest change is margin. Liberation Day destroyed over 30% buffer and basically forced the Legion off the front line with Clownbodia. It wasn't even a week from the Warlord Khmer deleting his channel that we were forced to make the hard choice to reevaluate a new strategy. The first jar is the jar of the tithe. It is 10% to God and is probably going to be the hardest jar for me to maintain strictly. Not very good with giving to the church. I give when I go, but I don't go often because my time is used elsewhere. But as we learn from people that are dedicated to making proper investments, I have a lot to learn. The second jar is the jar of charity or helping your community. So here again, we're going to put 10% to a charity in the community. Keeping the money in the local community has the benefit of helping the people who support our business. Charity is easier for me as I already support the local Chamber of Commerce. The Senate approach has already allowed me to break into the 6-figure salary and is continuing to grow. I also really believe in the cause of the Shriners. I think that helping families in their time of need to spend more time with their children is a high and noble cause. The third jar is why you are here listening to a schmuck like me talk about investing. I am no Wolf of Wall Street. I flirt with the notion of being like Jordan Belfort. I have even bought his books, but when it comes to what makes sense to me, I have fallen into the yield traps and Warren Buffett quotes about getting to $100,000 as fast as you can. This $100,000 idea has stuck with me, but the Jewish philosophy proposed here, we must stick to making our money grow. Liberation Day became personal to me. I think that I learned that margin is a debt that gets paid first. I was living on the edge of a thrill ride that was working while the bulls are running, but when the bear comes, it is a fight for your life. It is high risk, high reward that at this current stage of my life is just not for me. Another thing about the whole Buffett quote of 100,000 that was hurting me was that I was investing way over 50% of my total income. The whole point of the jars is to use scripture to guide where your priorities should be. Even if religion isn't your thing, you can still learn wisdom and see that you can balance instead of just throwing money into the market. Jar 4 might as well be called the Dave Ramsey jar. Dave Ramsey is famous for getting an emergency fund first so that you can pay your expenses if anything were to happen. Like if you lose your job or you need immediate repairs to your house. These things need to come first, and you don't want to liquidate assets at a bad time. I've found this out personally from having to liquidate stocks to pay for some things. Like I said in the previous jar, I've invested too much money when I didn't necessarily have it. Currently, my emergency fund, I'm going to pay the 10%. I'm paying down all of my high interest credit cards down. Like the credit card trap has me, and then after that, I'm going to put the 10% into treasuries. The final jar is life. 50% of my money should go directly to paying my bills and living off of. Yes, this is the hard part. This is the Starbucks, giving up the Starbucks instead of, why do you need a $7 venti grande latte instead of just going to the grocery store and buying some coffee and, having 100 cups for one? These are the things that I have to change in my personal life. I also got to realize that having the fanciest, shiniest cars it's not really, it shouldn't be taken up as much as it does. Right now, currently, I'd say maybe 25% of my money per month goes to paying my 2 car payments, which, here again, this is just more debt that needs to get paid off as quick as possible so that I can truly live a balanced life. My life is out of balance, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of your lives are out of balance too. And that's not your fault. We weren't taught this as a kid. All these jars were taught to the Jewish children around the age of 12. They're supposed to know this stuff by the age of 12. It's a habit that they get them into. What are we taught to? We're taught to get into debt and just buy. Consumerism. Is it really the right way? Right now, I'm literally sitting here, keep myself on the edge from losing, everything. Because I can't continue on the high debt, high risk, high reward. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. I have to change myself and go through the initial pain to get the prolonged pleasure. I've always chased pleasure and then I take the pain at the end, and that's not the best way. And that's what I hope that if you learned anything from this video, I hope that you learned that we should have a plan to our finances. And I look towards the Jewish people. They're really good at, I hate stereotypes, but they're really good at managing their money. Unlike what I was taught as an American. Liberation Day was a blessing and not a curse. I was able to retain enough to pay off some of my debt while continuing to grow my Roth IRA, and I have been trying to practice the 3rd jar with my current pay. My emergency fund of buying short-term treasuries will commence when I get my credit card debt to 0, and I will show you in a later video when I go to purchase them. I've always been in reverse order in my life, and it is time to go about things with a solid plan. Remember to like this video if you found value in it, and let me know in the comments below what your favorite charities are.